If you fuck me, then fuck you. And that's the way I like it. Yeah, that's the way I like it. That's the way.
Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a story time about how me and my cousin fell out, y'all. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please subscribe. Thank you, thank you. Okay, y'all. So, I need to explain how all this happened. First of all, me and this cousin grew up together very close, basically like sisters. Now, our moms was hella close, and I was only maybe 2 years older than her, and then her brother was a year older than me. So, you know, we always was together. We grew up together, close, right? That cousin ended up moving away when I was about 12 or 13. She moved away. So after that, I did not get to see them for years, but we had grown up our whole life up until then, super close. So I ended up moving when I was 21. I moved up to the state where they lived. So cool, right? I got hella family up there. When I first moved up there, she was actually locked up, so I didn't get to see her for a while. When she finally got out, she came by, we was cool, but we didn't hang with each other a lot up there because she struggled with a meth addiction, okay, y'all? I'm just tell y'all. So she would be running around in the streets, going back and forth to jail, and all kind of crazy stuff. But she will always stop by. After she running around in the streets for days or a week, she would show up at my door. I would let her in because she's sleepy. She needs to sleep for 2 days. She needs to eat all my food. And she needs to take a shower. I would give her my clothes, y'all. She would take a shower, give her something to wear after her sleeping and eating for 2 days, okay? And then she would be back out the door. And she would be gone for another week or two. But she will always come to my house once she had been awake for days or whatever, right? I didn't judge her, like that's my cousin. I love her, you know what I mean? Y'all, I'm actually getting emotional talking about it. Yeah, like that's my cousin, so I'm not gonna judge her. And if she shows up at my door, like, it's okay, right? But I would always cuss her out because, girl, I give you my clothes every time and you leave with them. And I never see my clothes again. Hella outfits out the door. Hella jackets because it gets a little cold up there, right? Y'all, so many of my clothes gone, right? So this goes on for years, on and off, right? When she was out and she didn't have nowhere to go, she would come there, same routine. Eat up all my food, take a shower, be all up in my clothes, and leave, right? Y'all, let me back up. Hold on, because I missed something. I might as well put this in here. She had first got out of jail and I got to see her for the first time. I'm walking with her to the store or something. When I tell you this girl, her and her stepmom, my uncle's baby mama, which they both used to be doing meth. But anyways, I'm walking with them to the store. When I tell you this girl gone run up on some girl talking about, oh, I've been wanting to fight her. Runs up on the girl, y'all. And my cousin was tiny, skinny at this time, okay? Even though she's naturally a thick girl, if she would leave the stuff alone, okay? But she was skinny. She runs up on this girl and she's fighting the girl. When I tell you the girl swung her so far, so naturally, y'all, she's my little cousin. Naturally, I'm about to get on the girl, right? Y'all. So I get on the girl after she done swung my cousin far into a damn gate. So I run up on the girl and bink her up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I bink the girl up. And then someone is yelling out the apartment window saying, I'm gonna call the police. I'm gonna call the police. So I leave, right? And go back home and let them walk wherever they walking. So the first time I had hung out with her and was walking to the store with them, you got me having to fight a girl who I don't know because you're running up on her and she done swung you into the gate, right? So I remember even my uncle, he was like, Seville, don't go nowhere with them because she gonna have you in some stuff. You just moved up here. Y'all, I forgot about that. So let's fast forward. So for years and years and years, a few years, this is the routine. She would come over. Oh, I would do her hair sometime when she did have money to buy some hair or whatever. I would do her hair for her. No problem. So I want to say, let's say 3-4 years of just her coming to my house, sleeping and eating and taking my clothes, right? It got really bad though, right? One time she came over and she was tripping real bad. You could tell she had been awake for I don't know how long, maybe a week, y'all. She was hallucinating, she was tripping, all the things. So I'm getting fed up because it was too much. And then she had one of my jackets on and she had took who knows how long before. I just used to end up giving her the clothes because I don't know where you be at with these clothes. She wanted to wash the jacket. It was dirty. So I took it out the dryer, y'all. When I tell you there was a needle that fell out the jacket, I was so pissed because what if the cap was off? What if I poked myself with a needle that you brought in my house in the jacket that I let you wear months ago? Like, bro. And she was tripping that day, like bad, okay? So finally, y'all, let's say 4 years of me being up there and just allowing her to just come and go and, you know, just being there, just being supportive, just being there for her, right? So finally I'm like, don't come over here, bro, because this is ridiculous at this point. You coming over here really tripping, hallucinating. It's scary. She was so small and skinny. And bro, you done brought a needle up in my house and I could have poked myself with it. So after that, y'all, I told her, don't come back over here, right? Thankfully, not too long after this, she ends up getting locked up. And I mean, you know, it's not good that people get locked up, but she was looking sickly and she was doing too much. She needed to go to jail, honestly. So she gets locked up. She's locked up for a while. She calls me. She tells me she's pregnant. So when she gets out of jail, she gets to go to a halfway house. She had the baby in the halfway house. She calls me, asks me if I could come visit her. They could have visitors and can I do her hair, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. I go visit her at the little halfway house. So I get to see the little baby. I do her hair. My cousin looks so healthy. I was just happy, you know? I'm thinking like, okay, maybe this baby, because she had already had some babies and no longer had custody of them. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe this baby will keep her on the right track, right? She just looks so good, y'all. So after doing her hair and hanging out with her at the little halfway house or whatever, she calls me maybe like a week later and she like, I'm gonna need a place to stay when I get out of here. Like I have to give an address and it has to be somewhere safe for the baby. I'm trying to make sure I keep my baby. So y'all, what am I gonna say? We had an extra bedroom, okay? I don't care how many bedrooms I have now, nobody could stay with me. I can't handle that now. But back then, like, I just felt like I have this space. I'm not gonna tell her no. She's healthy right now. She has this new baby. Hopefully this does it. So y'all, the plan is though, like, no, you have to pay rent. You need to pay a little bit of something. She get food stamps, so you need to put food in the house because all these years you just been coming and going, eating up all my food, doing the most, and you ain't never gave a penny, okay? Which is cool because she wasn't living with me. I just used to let her come and go. But now you're asking to have this room, so you do need to pay some rent. And y'all, it was like a small amount. And she needed to put food in the house, okay? That's it. That's the plan. because she didn't have nowhere else. Her mom wasn't gonna let her. Nobody else was gonna let her because people are tired of her BS. Keep that in mind, y'all. It was only me. Okay? Everything is going good. She's healthy. Everything's fine. She's doing what she needs to do. She a little junky and don't clean up. So I'm on her about that. Like, you need to help clean up. But y'all, I want to say maybe 2 months she's staying there and doing okay. Didn't pay no rent at all. And she just giving excuses. Didn't put no food in the house at all. And she's just giving excuses, right? So y'all, let's say 2 months into it, she start talking to the baby daddy, who she thinks is the baby daddy anyway. Because she even told him it's a possibility that he is the dad, right? So they start talking. And she's going to visit him. He lives about 2 hours away, like in a country town outside of, this is when I lived in Oregon. So a white man, she's only dealt with white men. Y'all, my people that moved out there, they only deal with white people because it's mainly only white people. But anyways, that's another story. So he comes to pick her up and she's going to visit him. He lived with his mom somewhere. This is when everything goes downhill. Because I asked about it. Does he do meth? She's like, no, he's clean right now too. Everything's good. She goes to visit the man. Everything's cool. They back together. Cool, y'all. So she comes back after the weekend. The next weekend, she goes back to visit. This is when everything changed. She was going to visit for a week, okay? It was supposed to be a whole week that she was going to visit this second time. So she leaves, and then I want to say maybe like a day or two later, she's calling me. I'm at work. I'm not at home. And she got like a bad attitude on the phone. And she's like, I need to come pick up your key. I'm coming home. I'm not staying here, right? So I'm like, okay, well, you're going to have to come to my job to pick up the key. So fine, some hours later, she gets to my job. I go outside. I give her the key. And she has a stank attitude, y'all. And let me tell you something. She does not have a stank attitude when she's sober. She is a very, like, happy type girl when she's sober. When I saw how her demeanor was, I was like, uh-oh, something wrong. So I'm like, okay, I give her the key and I go back into work. She goes to my house, the mama drops them off. So when I get off of work that day, I asked her, I'm like, y'all was out there doing meth? And she's like, no, we wasn't. We just got into it because I think he's gay and blah, blah, blah. Some off the wall stuff, right? Which I could just tell my cousin. I know my cousin, y'all. So I knew it, but she wouldn't confirm it, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever. So y'all, after that, she would ask me to watch the baby. And she would leave for a little bit, not too long, but long enough to go get high and stuff. I started seeing that she was getting high. And y'all, keep in mind, she's supposed to be paying rent. It's been a couple months. She still hasn't paid no rent. She still hasn't done nothing. And now you're starting to get back high. And you got this little precious little baby that you're supposed to be trying to keep. So yeah, all this stuff started happening. After the situation where I kind of think that she was getting high up there with her baby daddy, I want to say a few more weeks. Now I know for sure she's getting high. I could tell, but she's trying to hide it, right? But she acts so different when she's high that you can't really hide it. One day I come home from work and I'm talking to her about, like, you haven't put no food in the house. Like, it's just me and my husband paying for food and you're eating the food. And she greedy as hell, y'all. You're eating the food. You won't put food in the house. You get food stamps and you get a check. She got a check for herself and she got a check because she has a baby. So why don't you have any money And you agreed, I agreed to let you live here and have the room if you paid rent, right? Y'all, when I tell you this girl flipped on me as if I was asking her something crazy, she flipped on me as if I was in the wrong for asking her what's going on, basically. When I tell you she started raising her voice at me, screaming and hollering, it clicked. Like she would never if she was sober. You know what I mean? But still, you're out of your mind. You're in the wrong all the way around. Like, I have done nothing but be here for you when other people won't open their doors for you. And this is what I get, you know? So she's hollering and yelling in my house, y'all. And I've had it. I have had it with her. So I'm like, you could go. You gotta go. I don't care where you go, but you gotta go. And then she's like, oh, you're kicking me and my baby out. You're wrong. You're wrong. No, the baby can stay, but you gotta go. I'm not leaving my baby here. Well, then take your baby, but y'all gotta go, right? But trying to make me feel bad that I'm kicking you out. Talking about I'm kicking the baby out. Actually, I'm not. You could leave her. She should have left her, y'all. She actually should have. I'm not going to explain what ends up happening later on with the baby. She should have left the baby. But anyways, so she is hollering, okay? Hollering in my house. And I'm telling her she got to go. I open the door and I'm telling her, you got to go, right? Now we are outside, like right outside of my apartment. And when I tell you this girl is out there hollering like a white lady, I'm not going no. When I tell you, disturbing the neighborhood, y'all, she had me so worked up. She was screaming so loud. It was pissing me off so bad. At that time, I don't know, I still couldn't control my like anger, I guess. I was still like maybe in my early 20s, y'all. So not too much on me. But when I tell you the girl would not lower her voice, I told her, stop yelling in front of my apartments. They gonna call the police. We're black. There ain't no other black people that live in none of these apartments on this street, period. You're doing too much. Just get the baby and go. Call your mom, call somebody. She like, but you know they're not gonna let me live there. You're wrong, you're wrong. I'm wrong because you have been here for 3 months now and haven't held up your end of the bargain. And now you're doing crazy stuff. I'm wrong for now expressing the issue. Y'all, the girl was screaming. I want to say screaming outside my apartment for like 10 minutes. Y'all, I finally got so mad she would not lower her voice. I swung on her. But like in the midst of swinging on her, y'all, if she wasn't my cousin, I would have whooped her. Okay? If I did not love her, I would have whooped her butt. But it just, y'all, I swung on her, and in the midst of swinging on her, I was like, ooh, no, I don't want to hit her. You know what I mean? That's the only reason she didn't get her butt whooped. But once I swung on her, she was like, oh, you want to hit me? You, and still screaming. I'm like, girl, come on. No, you doing too much. You about to make me whoop your butt, and you're doing too much. That made her finally calm down when I swung. Even though I did not hit her, y'all. And I caught it before I connected. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hit my cousin. I really don't. But she just was doing too much. You know, being disrespectful. Why would you be yelling outside of somebody's house where they live? Where they let you live? Just ungrateful, bro. So finally, I called my uncle. He lived around the corner. And I'm telling him, and he tell her, come on, come over here. It's cool, right? So she get the baby and stuff, and she leave, and she acting like I have done her so wrong. I end up seeing her maybe like a week later at a family member's house. I think maybe Thanksgiving was a week later or something. And when I walked in, she had ended up going to live with her mom, which only for like a week. because her and her mom didn't get along. Her mom, I ain't gonna go into their business, but yeah, I walk in and they looking, she don't say nothing to me, as if I done really did something to her. So some months later, she ends up getting locked back up in a situation with the baby and just a bunch of stuff, you know, like she was getting back high, and it was proven once she went to jail a few months later. And yeah, I end up moving maybe a couple years later. I don't know, but I never got to see my cousin again. I have not seen her since Thanksgiving. That Thanksgiving that year, a week after I had finally put her out. And yeah, but I love my cousin so much. I was actually getting emotional telling some parts because, you know, I want the best for her and I hope she gets it together. This was years ago, y'all. This was so many years ago, and unfortunately she still hasn't got it together. But yeah, y'all, you cannot help everybody, you know, like do as much as you can for people and they'll turn around and act like you did something wrong to them, even though they're the ones in the wrong, you know. So yeah, I learned that back then. It doesn't matter what you do for people, what you give. Like, some people just will take advantage and act like you did something wrong to them when you've been nothing but kind and giving to them, you know what I mean? And that's just how it is. I'm a lot more strict these days. First of all, can't nobody live with me. Nobody. I need my space, period. I don't like energies. I barely, y'all. Anyways, yeah. Can't nobody live with me, that's for sure. And there's people that you do for and they don't be appreciative or grateful. Some people are just takers, you know what I mean? And if you're a giver, just make sure you don't give too much. People are not reciprocating that, then stop it, okay? But yeah, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this story. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please subscribe. Thank you, and I'll see y'all next time.